Welcome back. You're watching Live from Paris on France 24. It's time now for Media Watch. Olivia Salazar-Winsper is here to tell us what the journalists have been writing and talking and tweeting about today. Good evening to you, Olivia.
Hi.
Let's start with the French right, the UMP, the party, of course, of Nicolas Sarkozy, the former president. He's gone. Who's going to replace him?
Like you say, Nicolas Sarkozy, he's out of the picture. So that's left his successors.
He's gone to record an album with Carla Bruni.
That's what he's doing. He's launching his music career in Morocco. Now that's left people in the UMP, of course, eyeing up the top job, that is the leadership of the UMP. And we've got what the media, the French media, are calling the war of the chef, the war of the bosses.
La guerre des chefs.
It looks dramatic.
It
looks like they're facing off for a duel. You've got Jean-François Copé and François Fillon, the former Prime Minister. Libération had it on the front page, as did the Huffington Post. Now, what this means really is that they're looking ahead to 2017 at the next election. We've only just got done with this one, and they're already thinking, OK, we're in the opposition. Who's going to be a candidate?
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, François Fillon really stirred the pot on the radio yesterday morning when he said there are no natural leaders in the UMP. Since, Nicolas Sarkozy's absent now, there's no one really who can take the helm and lead the party like he could. Everyone else told him to pipe down because this is an important moment for campaigning. Parliamentary elections coming up.
Well, it seems like a strange thing to say if he wants to lead the party.
I think he means there are no natural leaders except me.
Except me, oh yeah.
Alain Juppé and Jean-François Copé said, shush, we're campaigning for the parliamentary elections right now. That doesn't help. We need to present a united front. But party members are putting themselves in...
They're lining up, aren't they, behind who they like?
Camp. You've got a very mysterious tweet from Roselyne Bachelot who says, François Fillon is my chouchou, my favourite for the mayoral elections for Paris. So he's trying to be mayor of Paris. Then you've got... Rachida Dati, who's come out very openly in support of
former Sarkozy
Copé.
Minister.
Yes.
She's for Copé,
She's
right?
for Copé.
Do we know who Sarkozy's for?
Sarkozy's on holiday. He's for
be
holiday
interesting to know
right now.
who he backs, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think he's going to keep very quiet on this one because, they're going to... It looks bad for the UMP as well to have this internal division, and the socialists are loving it, of course, because they're less of a threat once they're divided internally.
I'm sure Jacques Chirac will tell us who he supports anyway.
Oh, he likes to, yeah. So Michel Alliot-Marie actually was the only one who said, listen, they're whining like a couple of kids. They should stop it right now. It's damaging to the party. And, they could...
It doesn't look good, does it? Party infighting. This was the preserve of the socialists before the election, wasn't it? Now
they got over it, didn't they?
They did get over it and they won, and now it's the turn of the UMP. But the socialists can't be too smug, can they? Because they've got themselves tangled up in a bit of an expensive scandal.
Well, it might turn into an expensive scandal, a la UK, which we saw a lot with the UK ministers. Mediapart has this story. It's about a socialist MP called Pascal Terrasse. They believe that he actually used state funds to take his family on a series of quite luxury holidays. This is all about parliamentary expenses. Now, French MPs get a chunk of money in their account every month. That's about 6,400, yes, I think it's 6,400 euros to spend on transport, clothing, food and drink, and whatever they need. They don't have to bill the state for what they spend. It's not done through receipts. So the article alleges that he'd been creaming off some of this budget to take his family to Senegal, to Egypt, to Greece. They even have apparently a bill for one of his flights to Egypt. When questioned about this, he said, I've never done this is all rubbish. The only flight I did take was to Spain once for somebody's funeral, and that was a private matter, so that was a bit wrong. That was the only thing he admitted. But I find it quite interesting because even though it's not illegal to spend the money on this, it's obviously not seen very well. It's not ethical. And he's a socialist MP. And, holidays in Senegal are seen as a luxury for most of his voters. So he didn't choose to holiday in France either, which would have been a win.
Will he be keeping his job, do you think? Or might he
absolutely. He's campaigning to be re-elected as an MP in the Ardèche. So...
Let's wait and see. All right, now, as you mentioned, MPs are campaigning for the parliamentary elections, which is just around the corner. A lot of them are resorting to the internet to get their message directly to the voters.
Yes. Rue 89 has got a dossier on how the FN's doing on the internet in terms of getting their candidates online and reaching the digital public. They're not known to be the most tech-friendly or the most media-friendly.
Stuffing some something into a letterbox. Then.
Yeah, she's probably old school. She probably sends hers all out on a postcard. But no, what they're looking at is the blog fails, as it were, on the internet, because the FN has got a bit of a dodgy history when it comes to bloggers and websites for their candidates and their party members. Some have been even shut down because of having references to Ku Klux Klan members, white supremacists. But I mean, even now, you still have this guy, for example, who on his blog, that's him.
He's a potential MP, is he?
They're such 90s. Yeah, they're all candidates. They're such 90s blogs. He says that there are weapons from Afghanistan circulating in French suburbs being used by Muslim teenagers. You've got a young woman here who's on her Facebook page. She just says she likes a certain pop star. You've got a girl who's 18 years old. I can't believe it. Pictured with her dog. Really quite irrelevant. There's just a lack of communication strategy. There's no real clear ideas. So I think, there's no real threat. There's no real online threat from these candidates.
They're kind of a bit behind the times, aren't they? All right then. Olivia Salazar-Winspear with the Media Watch tonight. Many thanks. Indeed. Well, now it's time to find out what else is going on in cyberspace. And I have to warn you, this is pretty graphic. One tattoo artist is going to great lengths to keep his iPod as close to him as possible. Cringe warning coming up. Here's Web News.